All right, let's check out these markets. You can see we're off a little bit the highs of the session, but nonetheless quite a rally on our hands. Up 161 points right now on the Dow. You got stocks trading higher amid news that consumer confidence rose to a 16-year high. Meanwhile, Paul Ryan saying repeal and replace may still get done. And we also heard Sean Spicer say they're moving on to tax reform. That, it's hoped, is going to get done. You couple that with infrastructure spending, and guess what? All these policies add up to some positive things on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is up triple digits here. It's looking to snap its 8-day losing streak, and Wall Street's hopeful that all this pro-growth economic agenda stuff is going to get back on track. Joining me right now with his thoughts on how it could work, Reagan economic advisor Art Laffer. Art, always good to see you. And, you know, we need a dose of optimism here. I know you want tax cuts as in yesterday. You know, they've got some challenges, right? I mean, the healthcare thing didn't quite go as planned. Do you still think tax reform can happen?
Oh, sure. Of course it can. Just remember, Trish, this is a marathon, not a sprint. We've got a long, long time. I think it's, his 64th day in office. He's got 365 days this year. He's got 3 more years after that, and then 4 more after that. So a lot of time. Okay, I hear you. But, you know,
he's someone who wants stuff done now. He comes from the corporate sector where stuff gets done right away as soon as you need it done. And you know, he's dealing with Washington swamp stuff. So with all that in mind, does he need to be more conservative in his estimates for when things can actually happen? I mean, they're talking about tax reform signed, sealed, and delivered in August.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he needs to be more conservative. I mean, what I think we have to do is get rid of this pay-for stuff. But if we don't get rid of pay-for stuff, I have got a great plan for you, Trish, that would be perfect for tax reform. It's called repeal and replace. Repeal the corporate income tax and replace it with a net sales tax of 5 or 6%. It would lead to a lot of extra revenue that they could use to cut the rates down on personal income taxes dramatically, and they can put in a border tax adjustment of 6%, perfectly legal in GAAP rules.
You like that border tax adjustment, Art? I've been meaning to ask you about that.
The worst thing in the world is to tax corporate profits. I mean, here you get a successful company that makes great products at low cost. They make lots of money, and we tax the living bejeebers out of them, highest in the world. Then you get these companies that lose squads of money. We subsidize them. We bail them out. They get lawyers and all that, and we bail them out. It makes no sense. Corporations are not people. You don't want to redistribute income amongst corporations. Corporations are there to produce products in the most efficient way possible to meet markets. So you should never have a profits tax. You should have a net sales tax. It could be done at a very low rate, and this economy would go crazy positive. And I think in due course we'll do it. Repeal and replace the corporate tax with the net sales tax, border tax adjustment, and then cut the personal income tax rate to 20%.
Where are you coming out on border tax adjustment? Because the hope is
among... As it stands right now, I'm against it.
All right, and just to explain it to the viewer, so the border tax would be basically a tax that they'd slap onto companies that are importing their goods, and the hope is, Art, that would somehow equalize the playing field, because all these other countries don't slap taxes on, you know, they slap taxes on our goods rather than their goods.
Well, we don't slap border tax adjustments. I mean, we do a border tax adjustment with retail sales taxes by state and local government. They do it with the VAT, but they don't have any border tax adjustment with regard to their corporate profits taxes, and nor do we. And so, therefore, doing a border tax adjustment with corporate profits is a stretch. I mean, it's really a stretch. But we could do it very easily if we just reform the corporate tax codes, which desperately need reforming right now.
I don't know if you're going to see a full-blown repeal and replace on the tax. I mean, you're being too optimistic, my friend, there. But we could see that lower rate coming through sometime, it's hoped, this summer. You think?
Yeah, well, we can get a lower rate, but as long as they have pay for, they're going to have a real problem with getting a lower rate that's substantially lower than the current rates, because they've got to find some tax to increase to offset the taxes they're cutting. That's the pay-for rule. We never had the pay-for. If we'd have had a pay-for with Reagan, there never would have been the Reagan Revolution. There never would have been the Kennedy Go 60s or the Roaring 20s. They all would have been gone. You know, you can't have a pay-for. You pay for tax cuts 3 years in the future when you get economic growth. That's how you pay for tax cuts.
All right, let's hope we get that growth and the tax cuts. Thank you, sir. Good to see you.
It makes sense, though, doesn't it?
It does. You always make sense. All right.